Hey, how's it going? Just thought I'd do a quick recap as well as talk through some other exercise variants that you might be able to use. So for this workout, we were going, again, all of these, it's 10 rounds of 45 seconds on the heavy bag, followed by a hinging variant, a squat variant, an upper body push, and an upper body pull, and then something sports specific and basically for a twist. Twisting movement. So for this one, we were using a heavy bag. I got this one from Rogue Fitness. I think it's advertised at 100 pounds, but after I used it a little while, it looked like there was a little bit extra room. I was able to get 20 more pounds in here, so it's like 120 pounds. That being said, you don't have to buy something like this. You can actually just get a sandbag from Lowe's or Home Depot, wrap it in duct tape. I use one of those for a long time. It's real cheap, real durable, worked out really well. You could also use, if you had a barbell, I guess you could use that or some other implement you could hold with 2 hands. I've used that heavy armor bag. That's worked in a pinch. Or maybe if you just, all you had is a decently heavy medicine ball like this, you could use that as well. So for the variants I showed, sandbag's kind of an awkward implement. There aren't as many variants as you're going to maybe be able to do that as opposed to like the kettlebell or body weight variants of this workout, but I'll show you a few. So first for our hinge, I was basically doing power cleans. But in addition to that, you could also do kind of a strongman stone loading type variant where you lift up, and you can probably just YouTube strongman stone loading, and there's plenty of other videos that can go over the actual technique of that a little bit better. But you could also potentially just do a regular deadlift with this. That's kind of sumo style. You might be able to bring it in a little bit. Maybe more conventional. Probably do some straight leg deadlifts. And then I'm going to do probably a body weight variant. Some body weight exercises that you could use this for additional resistance. But we'll kind of go over that in another video. So then we have our squats. I was kind of using the implement in a front squat, if I'm remembering correctly. But you could also potentially use this if you want to for some unilateral work. So you could do front lunges, you do reverse lunges, right? You could also do squats maybe with the weight on one side or the other, or just straight across the back for more of a back squat stimulus. Yeah. But for these, I kind of prefer the front squat. But those other variants are out there. And if we're talking about generally working your legs, also just loaded weight carries. You just pick it up, put it on your shoulder, you hold it kind of in a, what's called a Zercher carry, or you hold it like a Husfeldstone, or I'm using terms from like strongman training, but which again, like I said in other videos, there's people like they can do a much better job instructing you on the different techniques and variants and how to do this type of workout safely. Yeah, I'm just trying to share my personal experience. But along those lines, I also did a pull. So I was doing kind of similar to a barbell row at a pretty good clip. There aren't a whole lot of variations with this particular implement you could use. However, you can vary the kind of the angle of your back. I was kind of over and horizontal. You could be a little bit more into the vertical plane, right? You could also have a little bit of hinging in the movement, a little bit more, maybe more of a dynamic movement. And then for the press, I did a floor press, kind of a close grip floor press. But in addition to that, you could also do overhead. And that's kind of the variant I just showed would maybe kind of a little bit of a push press, but there's different variations of overhead pressing. You go strict press with where you're not using any leg drive. You could do maybe a jerk where you're using like a ton of leg drive and getting under the weight. But really kind of, I would just recommend to keep it simple with the overhead, with the pressing motions. That's it. Not a lot of variations with the sandbag. I find it to be a very fun implement to use, but it can definitely be awkward to lift, but like I said, that's a little bit of the fun of it. Anyways, hope you find that helpful. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.